People of the State of Michigan versus Terry Duncan, docket number 18-752FH. Mr. Duncan, you are here because a bench warrant was issued. It was issued based on allegations that you're in violation of probation. And those allegations are that on or about January 15, you had a firearm in your possession. Count 2, on or about the same date, you had ammunition in your possession. Count 3, on or about the same date, you had drug paraphernalia in your possession. Do you understand the allegations against you?
Yes, Your Honor.
If they're proven true, it could subject you to a maximum penalty of up to 5 years in prison on your one prior conviction, up to 4 years in prison on the other. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. You are represented by Mr. Mataloni, who's present. And you also have the right to a contested hearing, where you could appear by yourself or through your attorney. You could hear the evidence presented against you. You could cross-examine witnesses, and you could present your own evidence. And Mr. Mataloni, how are we proceeding on this?
Well, I had the opportunity to speak to the probation officer as well as the prosecutor on this case. And the probation officer actually suggested that we adjourn this to allow for whether there's going to be other charges arising out of this from the prosecutor's office, put Mr. Duncan on a tether and have him attend some counseling for drug use. That has come as a request of his family on behalf of Mr. Duncan. And I would ask the court, to consider that. I do have other facts regarding the potential charges. I just want you to know, the court, that Mr. Duncan is shot. He was shot at while he was driving. I guess he has a bullet still in him. He does need to seek medical care for that as well. But he did go to the hospital. He did cooperate with the police. There was a gun found at the home, but it was found in a shoebox. And Mr. Duncan denies any knowledge of it. And this is where we're at.
I always defer when there's new charges. The only thing is that when this was presented to me, there was no indication that there were new charges. And I wasn't sure what was going on, so I authorized it. And, but I would, if we think there's charges coming out of this, and I would assume there would be, I would be happy to defer. And I won't adjourn it, I just dismiss it, and it can be rebrought if there's a disposition on new charges. And then we want to amend the probation, Agent Forrest, correct, like Mr. Mataloni was saying?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're going to add, give it to me again, as you recommended, Agent Forrest?
I would just recommend that Mr. Duncan be placed on a curfew tether and a referral to relapse prevention.
Okay.
No objection.
Okay, very good. Then thank you. The bench warrant is dismissed. And the charges are deferred for further consideration at a later date. And we will amend the order of probation to include the curfew tether and relapse prevention as recommended and agreed to.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
If there's none,
Your Honor, is that a typical 90 days on the curfew tether, or what would how would that be?
Is that what you would recommend?
Yeah, that's typically what I do recommend, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay, we'll say 90 days. We'll see how it goes. So that means, Mr. Duncan, if there's nothing else holding you, I've dismissed the bench warrant and you should be released from the jail. If there's something else holding you, then obviously you wouldn't. But as far as I go, I'm not holding you on anything as of right now.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. You can tell them they're at the jail that you're all done so that they can bring the next person into the room, please.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.